Today's lesson is about the power of imagination. By imagination, I'd like us to include words such as innovativity and creativity, coming up with ideas and coming up with solutions. If there's one strength that a human being has, far above any other creature on earth, is the power of imagination and creativity. We have been given the ability to create, to imagine, and to innovate, to come up with ideas far above any other creature here on earth. And that's the reason why, that's the primary reason why we have the ability to dominate. However, in fact, let me not say it's the primary reason why. Let me say it's our primary strength on earth. Today's focus will be more on that and the importance of it. I know we all know that we have to be creative and innovative, but I'm going to show the strength of innovativity, creativity, and the power of thinking, just the power of basic thinking. As human beings, it is very dangerous for us to rely on our physical strength to achieve anything. In fact, we've learned throughout history that progress in human society, or rather progress in science, happened when human beings became less reliant on their physique and started creating solutions. For example, the invention of a lever, or a lever, what they call a lever, leverage. That's when a human being thought, no, instead of picking up these heavy objects all by myself, I must come up with a way of leveraging what I'm about to do. I must come up with a better way of relying less on myself and using my imagination and creativity to manipulate the forces of nature. Now that's a very important principle. Please note, using your creativity and imagination to manipulate the forces of nature so that they respond to your command and they do whatever you ask them to do. Now, what do I mean by that? That's simple science. Knowing how to study nature and use its own properties to further your own cause. For example, we studied the properties of electricity, and now we're using it to further our own cause, like for example inventing all the gadgets that we know and that allow us right now to communicate and do all the other things. We've manipulated properties of petrol, of oil, and we made it petrol, and then we manipulated properties of steel and we made a car engine, and the car can move. So basically that's what today's lesson is about. Today's lesson, I feel, that is the most powerful lesson of all the lessons. Now, before I continue with this lesson, I'd like to say all these lessons that I've made are all interlinked. In other words, the reason why I start with one lesson and following with another is to build up to a certain ending. So it's very important to know that even today's lesson, even this lesson right now, it's just a build up towards other lessons that are coming. So as a matter of fact, you will have the complete picture as soon as all the lessons are covered. However, it is very important to note the very first lesson, which is the lesson of creation, and the lesson of domination, ability to dominate earth. And right now I'm coming closer to how and where to locate this power to dominate what we have. We are all born with that power. We are all given that power to rule. The only problem is unleashing it and making it happen. Now, when it comes to, for example, our own backgrounds, for example, the African backgrounds, we have hindrances or obstacles that stop us, or rather hinder us from unleashing our full potential. That's why I talked about the lesson called the African Origins of Civilization, so that we relieve ourselves of the lie and the inferiority complex ethics and understand that we come from a generation, or rather we come from a nation or nations of inventors and creative thinkers. And today, all those two lessons build up to this lesson. Also the lesson of knowledge builds up also to this, because it is today's knowledge that will help you push and boost your knowledge even up further. Now, today's idea is to say that, look, we are created to use what is within us in order to dominate what is outside of us. That is very, very important. So the less you rely on your physique, the more powerful you will become as a human being. Trust me, you look at every career around you, every career that is to do with physique does not pay that much, is a low level career, is a dead end job. But careers that have to do with strategic thinking are the most powerful. We can talk the whole night, but the bottom line is this, that the more you reach inward into yourself, the more you will become more powerful as a human being. Because we are not meant, for example, we are not created, or we are not made with abilities, physical abilities that are above those of animals. We are not faster than animals, we are not stronger than animals, we are not as resilient as they are physically. The reason is, I believe, that we have been made that way so that we will always come to our strengths. If we had all the strength, if we were stronger than elephants, we would rather rely on our strength to achieve things. But because we are not that weak, we come down to our strength. I mentioned earlier on about harnessing the power forces of nature to get what we want. You know, every time I'm in an aircraft and I'm flying across the Atlantic or across the Pacific Ocean, across the Indian Ocean, and we're flying so high with that altitude and that speed, and I realize how powerful human beings are, in the sense that we have the ability to manipulate all these forces of nature to fly at that speed, at that altitude, and etc., etc., with all that weight. So that's basically the power of a human being. The request that I'm making as you're listening is, from today onwards, start to tap into your imagination. Start to tap into your creativity. Be a creator rather than a follower. The more we become creators, the more we start creating solutions, we will then find ourselves in a position of easily dominating our situations. Every solution to our situation lies within us, and we have to find the solution right inside us, because we have been created and made and born with that ability to solve the problems that are here on earth. On the next lesson, on the other lessons that are to come, we'll be fusing the ability to create with the ability to execute. So as you can see, all these lessons build up towards other lessons that will finally bring the whole puzzle and big picture together. So please stay subscribed, and make sure that you listen carefully, do your homework, and start thinking about all the things that I'm saying, and make your own research and come up with your own words, come up with your own thesis about everything that I'm about to talk about. So it shouldn't be just something that you feed off me, but something that you go home and research, something that you can second as a person and say, look, I've seen this and I know it works. So until the next lesson, cheerio.